A wounded girl collapsed into the sand. 2 bodies were left bleeding in the streets, and 4 shadowy riders disappeared into the night. Before dawn, Sultan Salahuddin would discover that the greatest danger was not outside his walls, but hidden beside him. One trusted name was about to fall, and a secret betrayal would shake the heart of his empire. Before we begin, I want to ask you something from the heart. If someone you trusted endangered your people, would you forgive them or choose justice? Comment your answer below right now. If stories like this matter to you, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to Islamic Conquests so these powerful chapters of Islamic history stay alive for future generations. The man standing closest to that storm was Ali bin Sufyan. He was known for discipline, speed, and sharp judgment. While others slept behind guards and locked doors, Ali allowed his men to wake him at any hour. He believed danger did not wait for sunrise. That belief would save many lives on the night everything changed. Ali and Qadimuddin al-Barq were more than companions. They had fought side by side for years. They were of the same age, old brothers in arms, men who had ridden through dust and blood under the banner of Sultan Salahuddin. But even deep friendship can hide painful cracks. Al-Barq had secretly taken a second wife. When Ali learned this, he was not angered by marriage itself. He was troubled by secrecy, deception, and what it meant for a trusted officer. He stopped speaking warmly to his old friend. Yet he did something more important than argue. He began to watch. The young woman who entered al-Barq's life was called Asafa. She was striking, intelligent, graceful, and careful with every word. She knew how to flatter, how to listen, and how to make powerful. But Ali's instincts warned him that something was wrong. No one at that moment understood how dangerous she truly was. So he placed watchers near al-Barq's home. Some observed the front road, others watched nearby alleys. More eyes were sent toward another house where the young woman had been seen visiting at night. It was an old building, quiet by day, suspicious by night. 2 nights passed. The spies saw no movement, lamps dimmed. Doors stayed closed, men fought sleep in silence. Nothing happened. But on the 3rd night, just before midnight, Ali bin Sufyan was shaken awake. One of his servants stood over him, breathless. "Umar has arrived," he said. "He is frightened." Ali rose like an arrow released from a bow. In moments, he crossed the courtyard and stepped outside. Umar, one of his trusted watchers, was pale and sweating. "What happened?" Ali demanded. Umar struggled to steady his breath. "A woman wrapped in black left al-Barq's house," he said, as she moved ahead into the street. Then another woman dressed the same way came out after her and followed quickly. Ali's eyes narrowed. Then they met farther ahead. We could not hear everything. Suddenly a hidden man appeared. There was movement. Steel flashed in the dark. One woman screamed, then another cried. Both were wounded. Ali did not waste a heartbeat. He ordered 14 mounted men to be summoned at once. These were not ordinary riders. They were hand-picked veterans trained for sudden night emergencies. Their horses slept saddled nearby. Their weapons remained beside them. Within minutes, they were ready. That decision would soon test his leadership. Ali armed himself, mounted and rode with Umar guiding the way. 2 riders carried burning torches wrapped in oil-soaked cloth. The streets were nearly black, except for trembling orange firelight. They reached the scene. 2 figures lay on the ground in blood. Ali jumped from his horse and knelt beside them. One was al-Barq's first wife. The other was Ajar, Umar's fellow spy. Both were alive, but barely. Ajar opened his eyes with effort. His voice was weak. "They carried one wounded woman away," he whispered. "I stayed hidden. Then I went to help this woman. Someone struck me from behind 3 times with a dagger." Ali pressed him for one more answer. "Which way did they go?" Ajar lifted a trembling hand. "Not back to al-Barq's house. To the other place. The old house." That single sentence changed everything. Ali ordered 2 men to carry the wounded immediately to a surgeon and stop the bleeding however they could. Then he turned the rest of his riders toward the mysterious building where Asafa had been seen before. The streets narrowed as they moved. The house stood large and old, joined to neighboring walls, silent as a tomb. But from behind it came a sound that made every rider tense. Horses. Ali instantly split his force. Some moved to circle the rear. 2 remained at the front with orders to seize anyone escaping. Another rider was sent racing to camp for reinforcements. Then from beyond the walls, the pounding of hooves erupted into the night. They're running, someone shouted. Ali drew his sword. What happened next would uncover far more than a single woman's secret. It would reveal a hidden network already poisoning the city from within. He kicked his horse forward into the darkness. Ali bin Sufyan drove his horse forward, and the riders behind him thundered into the night. The streets were tight and broken by walls, corners, and narrow lanes. Shadows leaped across stone as torches shook in the hands of the pursuing men. Ahead, the sound of fleeing horses echoed like drums of war. Then the riders burst from the city edge into open ground. Now the fugitives could be seen, 4 dark shapes racing hard across the desert. They had already gained distance, perhaps 100 yards or more. But Ali's men rode some of the finest horses in the Sultan's service, mounts praised more than once by Salahuddin himself. 2 of Ali's riders lifted their bows while keeping full speed. Arrows cut into the dark. They missed, but the men ahead reacted instantly. They were trained. They spread apart, widening the gaps between them, so a single arrow could not strike more than one target. What seemed like panic was discipline. Ali understood at once. These are no ordinary criminals, he shouted. A separate, 1 rider on each target. His men split in 4 directions. Each pursuer fixed his eyes on a single fleeing horse. Bows were drawn again. Hooves tore through sand and dry earth. Wind whipped cloaks behind them. No one at that moment knew whether they were chasing spies, soldiers, or something even worse. Ahead stood a patch of date palms on raised ground. The fugitives used it well. 2 veered right, 2 left, then all vanished for a heartbeat behind the slope. When Ali's men climbed the rise, the 4 targets had scattered even farther. It was a trap of distance. If the pursuers hesitated, the riders would escape into darkness. If they rushed carelessly, they could be drawn too far apart and ambushed. Ali chose speed. Close the distance, he roared. A loose arrows when you can. The night exploded with shouting and the snap of bowstrings. Then came a cry from the right flank. One is hit. A horse stumbled wildly, half turning in panic. Another rider from Ali's force reached it and struck with a spear. The wounded animal staggered but did not fall. The man upon it tried to keep control. Ali himself surged toward another target. Beside him, 2 of his riders released arrows together. One found its mark. A second horse reared and twisted, nearly throwing its rider. The chase was breaking. One of Ali's men leaned from the saddle and locked his arm around an enemy rider's neck, dragging him sideways. Both horses nearly collided before the prisoner was torn free and thrown to the ground. Then torchlight revealed something unexpected. Behind one captured rider was a second figure slumped across the saddle. It was a young woman. She had been seated in front of him, barely conscious, blood covering her clothes. Her face was pale like death itself, a deep wound cut near the shoulder and neck. Ali dismounted immediately. It was Asifa. For a moment, even hardened soldiers stared in silence. This was the woman whose beauty had entered Al-Bark's home like perfume, and now she was found fleeing through the desert with armed men. The truth was growing darker with every breath. One prisoner spoke through clenched teeth. Do what you want with us, he said. But the girl is wounded. Show mercy. Ali ignored the plea and focused on the wound. He packed cloth against the bleeding and tied another strip over it with firm hands. Take her to the surgeons at once, he ordered one rider. A ride, fast. The man turned back toward the city with the wounded girl. Meanwhile, voices in the dark signaled more success. One by one, the scattered pursuers returned. All 4 fleeing riders had been captured. Their horses, badly wounded, were left behind in the desert. The prisoners were bound and gathered together. Among them was one old man whose face caused surprise among some who knew the city. He had long appeared harmless, almost forgettable. But appearances had already deceived too many people. As dawn approached, Ali led the captives back toward Cairo. No one spoke much on the road. Dust rose around them. The eastern sky slowly brightened. Somewhere behind them, the desert kept its silence. Somewhere ahead, Sultan Salahuddin was waiting. But what Ali had not yet learned was even more dangerous than the chase itself. At the palace and the hospital, another mystery was already unfolding. When word of the night attack reached the Sultan, he ordered al-Barq to be summoned immediately. The message returned with strange news. Al-Barq could not rise. He was said to be unconscious in his chamber. Wine cups and a jug lay nearby. He seemed drunk beyond sense. Salahuddin was stunned. Could a trusted officer lie senseless while blood was being spilled in his own household? When Ali arrived in the city, he first went to the hospital. Surgeons worked over the wounded. Al-Barq's first wife still breathed, though weakly. Ajar, the spy stabbed in the dark, had regained consciousness but was in grave condition. And Asifa, the mysterious second wife, was being treated under guard. Sultan Salahuddin drew Ali aside. "I have been here since before sunrise," the Sultan said. "Ernest, let me send for al-Barq. What I heard has troubled me deeply." Ali looked directly at him and answered quietly. "My Sultan, this matter is worse than we thought." Then he pointed toward the room where Asifa lay. "And that wounded girl we captured in the desert. She is al-Barq's secret second wife." The Sultan's face hardened. Ali continued, "Let the injured speak when they are able. We may have captured far more than criminals tonight." And he was right, because once the survivors began to talk, a hidden war inside the city would finally come into the light. Morning light spread across Cairo, but inside the hospital there was no peace. The wounded struggled for breath. Guards stood at every entrance. Messengers moved in silence. And Sultan Salahuddin knew that whatever had happened in the night was not a simple crime. It carried the smell of conspiracy. Ali bin Sufyan was right beside him. When the surgeons finally allowed questioning, the first voice to speak came from Ajar, the spy who had been stabbed in the street. Weak and pale, he repeated what he had seen. A wounded woman had been left behind. A man had carried the other away toward the old house. When Ajar went to help, someone hidden in the dark struck him 3 times and fled. That alone was troubling, but the fuller truth came from the dying words of al-Barq's first wife. She asked, first, for Ali bin Sufyan. When he came near, she spoke with pain, but her voice carried firmness and honor. She said that after Ali warned her of the second marriage, she chose patience. She wanted proof, not anger. She believed her husband had been trapped, and she wanted to protect the state before seeking revenge for herself. That decision would soon reveal everything. She secretly made a tiny hole in the inner door that opened toward the room where al-Barq and Asifa spent their nights. Through that small opening, she watched for 2 nights. What she saw shocked her. Asifa poured wine for al-Barq again and again. She flattered him, entertained him, and made him forget caution. Then she spoke of politics, war, and Sultan Salahuddin's plans as if merely curious conversation. And al-Barq answered. He revealed thoughts, discussions, military ideas, and matters that should never have left the circles of command. Not because he was a sworn traitor, because he was weak, because vanity, desire, and intoxication had opened a gate no army could force open. No one in that room could ignore the lesson. On the 3rd night, she said, the final act began. Asifa served wine once more, then carried the cups into another room and returned smiling. She handed 1 cup to al-Barq and drank from the other herself. Soon after, al-Barq lost all awareness and collapsed. She had drugged him. Then she dressed, covered herself in black, extinguished the lamp, and slipped outside. Al-Barq's first wife could bear no more. She wrapped herself, took a dagger, and followed. At first, she only wanted to know where Asifa was going. But outside, she noticed something else. A servant whispering secretly with Asifa before the woman departed. The household itself had been infiltrated. She followed the sound of footsteps through the dark streets until Asifa suddenly stopped. The wife moved closer. "But where are you going?" she demanded. Asifa laughed. Then someone hidden behind seized the wife by the arms. She broke free before the grip tightened, drew her dagger, and struck at a second man. In the struggle, she was wounded badly in the side. But before she fell, she lunged at Asifa. Her blade drove into the space between the shoulder and neck. Asifa screamed and collapsed. The hidden man then attacked again, wounding the wife more deeply before carrying Asifa away. When she finished telling the story, her strength was fading. She turned to Ali and said words that silenced the room. "I could sacrifice my husband," she whispered, "but I could not watch the honor of my people and land be sacrificed." Soon after, she died. Even hardened soldiers lowered their eyes. The emotional weight of the night had now found its center. While others had failed through weakness, she had chosen duty over herself. But what happened next changed everything. Sultan Salahuddin ordered Qudamaddin al-Barq arrested at once. When brought forward, al-Barq wept, pleaded, and swore he had never knowingly served the enemy. He claimed he had been deceived, intoxicated, manipulated by those around him. Many believed that part was true, but the damage was undeniable. Secrets of state had passed through his lips. A trusted officer had become a doorway for hostile spies. Salahuddin was known for mercy, but not at the cost of the Ummah's safety. Meanwhile, attention turned to Asifa. The young woman expected torture. She had heard frightening stories of what enemies do to captives. She cried like a terrified child whenever anyone approached. Ali bin Sufyan personally reassured her. "You will be treated as any wounded woman under our care," he told her. Still, she asked repeatedly to see the Sultan himself. When informed, Salahuddin went to her bedside. Witnesses later remembered the scene. He placed a hand gently upon her head and spoke with calm dignity. In this condition, he said, "I regard you as a daughter under protection." Asifa broke down in tears. She said she had heard that Salahuddin ruled hearts more than swords. She begged not to be deceived or tormented. The Sultan answered with measured firmness. "If I wished to harm you, I would have thrown you into prison wounded. Your wounds are being treated. No man here will dishonor you. But when you recover, truth will be required." The spy who had entered Muslim lands with false beauty and hidden purpose had met something she did not expect. Justice without cruelty. And that encounter would soon open mouths that torture alone might never have opened. Because while she recovered, soldiers were already searching the old house. What they found inside would prove that the danger was far larger than one officer, or one woman. The old house was open room by room under armed guard. What the soldiers found inside confirmed every fear Ali bin Sufyan had carried through the night. This was no ordinary residence. It was a spy center hidden in plain sight. There were stables inside for quick escape. Secret rooms stored supplies. Papers, coded notes, and signs of constant movement showed that men had been coming and going for a long time. Several suspects were arrested immediately. Others were dragged in later as names began to surface. But the darkest discovery was not weapons, it was corruption. Young women had been placed there for two purposes: to gather secrets through seduction and to destroy the morals of influential Muslim men. Some were trained to charm officers. Others were used to pull young nobles into addiction, gambling, debt, and shame. No sword had been raised. Yet a war had already begun, and it was aimed at the soul of society. Interrogations continued. At first, many denied everything. But when confronted with evidence and the testimony of those already captured, the network began to crack. The old man confessed. He admitted that Asifa had been used as bait to trap al-Barq. Her beauty, manners, language, and false loyalty had all been carefully prepared. She had been trained for years for missions exactly like this. Her real name, they said, was Flamingo. She was of Greek origin and had been prepared from youth to enter Muslim lands under disguise. She had learned the local tongue, customs, and behavior so well that suspicion faded wherever she went. And she was not alone. According to the confessions, many girls had been trained in similar ways and sent quietly into Muslim territories. The purpose was simple: break the strength of the enemy from within. The prisoners revealed more. Men had been planted inside the army ranks. They encouraged gambling among soldiers. They pushed theft, debt, and mistrust. Secret gambling dens had been opened in the city. Dismissed soldiers were being stirred with anger against the Sultan. Then came the most dangerous revelation of all. They named several Muslim officers holding important positions who were secretly working against Sultan Salahuddin. The room fell silent when those names were heard. This was no random scheme. It was organized infiltration, reaching into military and political circles. Now, the main mystery from the first night was fully exposed. The greatest danger had not been outside Cairo's walls. It had been inside them. And the trusted man at the center of it all. Salahuddin al-Bark had not planned treason, but through weakness he had enabled it. That lesson would echo far beyond his lifetime. Asifa recovered enough to speak fully. She no longer hid much, whether moved by fear, regret, or the justice she had witnessed. She confirmed much of what others had said. 15 days after her capture, judgment was delivered. She accepted the sentence of death, saying she had fulfilled the mission of the cross as she understood it. Others in the network were also sentenced after further arrests were made. Some among them were Muslims who had chosen greed over loyalty. As for al-Bark, Sultan Salahuddin judged him not merely for private sin, but for endangering the state. Drunkenness, moral collapse, and leaking secrets to enemies were crimes no ruler could ignore in time of war. He was sentenced to 100 lashes. He did not survive the punishment. Yet even then, Salahuddin's justice was not blind to the innocent. Al-Bark's children were taken into state care. Their living costs, servants, and future needs were assigned from the treasury. They were not made to carry the sins of their father. That was the difference between revenge and justice. And what of the woman who died in the street? The first wife of al-Bark, whose name history often leaves in shadow, became one of the noblest figures in this story. While others chased pleasure, she chose honor. While others hid truth, she exposed it. While others betrayed trust, she gave her life for faith, land, and dignity. She had said she could sacrifice her husband, but not the honor of her people. And she did. Sultan Salahuddin understood something many rulers never learn. Empires do not fall only from armies at the gates. They fall when discipline dies, when secrets are sold cheaply, when desire overrules duty, and when enemies are welcomed through weakness. That is why this night mattered, not because of one spy, not because of one scandal, but because it exposed a hidden war against the character of a nation. If this story moved you, take a moment now to like this video, share it with others, and comment your thoughts below. Was al-Bark a traitor, or a weak man used by stronger enemies? And if you value powerful, true stories like this, subscribe to Islamic Conquests, so these lessons from Islamic history continue to reach the world.